Hello and welcome to the first episode of the new series, States That Are Two States, where we expose U.S. states that are secretly two states in a trench coat. This episode, one of the most egregious offenders, Washington. Now, Washington's nickname is the Evergreen State, which is kind of funny because if you live anywhere east of this line, you could go your whole life without seeing a tree. This is the Western versus Eastern Washington divide, where the Cascade Mountains separate the wet side from the dry side, timberland from wheatland, and dog country from coog country. On one side of the state, you have Western Washington, green, rainy, and packed with people, centered around Puget Sound and the city of Seattle. It's home to about 5.3 million of the state's 8 million residents, which means it has 70% of the population on only a third of the land. It's the famous land of tech giants, mossy forests, and dense suburbs where it rains 150 days every year. It's home to the state's international shipping ports, largest airport, and highest paying jobs. Drive 2 hours east though and you'll feel like you're in a different country. Eastern Washington is dry, sparsely populated, and agricultural, home to vineyards, apple orchards, and vast wheat fields. The cities of Spokane, Yakima, and the Tri-Cities anchor a region that's much more conservative, rural, and economically tied to farming. There's a huge amount of moisture coming in from the Pacific in this part of the country, and the Cascade Mountains block nearly all of it, meaning that to the west, some parts get as much as 100 inches of rain every year, whereas out east, some parts get less than 9. All the water out west means that the temperatures stay super consistent year-round, and in the east, you'll find hotter summers and colder winters. And whereas the forests and cherry farms out west only need rainwater to survive, out east, the potato fields are highly dependent on irrigation from the Columbia River. But this divide is much more than geographic, it's also cultural and economic. The metropolitan west attracts a rich, diverse workforce that votes almost 2/3 for the Democratic Party, whereas out east, the much more homogenous population votes almost 2/3 for Republicans. Eastern Washingtonians often complain that their voices are not heard in state politics, and they're not completely wrong. There are enough votes coming from the eastern third of the state that there's often a Democratic supermajority in the House and Senate, with some Eastern Washingtonians going so far as to proclaim the existence of a new state called Liberty in Eastern Washington. Western Washington has a higher median income development index and life expectancy, but also has higher crime rates and homelessness rates than Eastern Washington. The urban fabric, the landscape, the economy of the two halves of the state could not be more different. So while the license plates in both halves of the state say Washington, that's really the only similarity. You have a rainy coastal tech empire on the west and dry inland farm country on the east. If you're from Washington, let me know in the comments down below what you think, and everybody else let me know if your state is two states pretending to be one. Thank you so much for watching. Follow for more.